Hi, welcome to VCCircle. We are here with Dr. Prathap Reddy, the chairman of Apollo Hospitals. It is the largest healthcare company in our country. Dr. Reddy, it's a pleasure to have you here with us.
Nice, Lohit. It's a pleasure to be with you, and through you to your viewers.
Thank you for having us here. We have a bunch of questions on Apollo Hospitals, and I'll get to them right away. So it's a very exciting company. You founded this company after you were 50. Today, this company is the largest healthcare company in India. That's a spectacular achievement, looking at the time that you've taken to bring this company to this scale. So what is the plan in the future? How are you going for your expansion?
I think, as you see today, what we have organized, Future of Healthcare, the people who have come from all over the world on our invitation, because they felt that Apollo is responsible to the health of the people of our country, and I always believed whatever we innovate which is good for India is good for the rest of the world. So I think we are working simultaneously on two things to continue to do what we are doing. That is, treating people. Very few people know that Apollo is not either Cleveland Clinic or Mass General or Mayo Clinic, but none of them are what we are, because we are into the entire health space. We are in awareness. We have done the largest number of preventive health checks. We are now going to do the Apollo, what's called the Apollo Personalized Health Check. This is going to be our big focus to see how do we get him to realize that he can avoid the so-called threat of NCDs, when 36 million people are dying. The second thing, the third is that we are into health insurance, we are in health education, and finally we are in healthcare. And only thing is, in healthcare we are not in primary healthcare. Yes, I have a hospital in my village which does primary and secondary, but we are going to be in primary, secondary healthcare through telemedicine.
And the group has been fairly strong on acquisitions as well. In fact, there were reports earlier that the group is in talks to acquire hospitals in Northeast India and Indore. Any developments on that?
Basically it is not our philosophy to acquire hospitals for two reasons. The first reason is the country needs to add 100,000 beds per year for next 7 years to meet the demand supply gap. The second thing is Apollo is successful because of the culture that we have brought in. So we have not, because of these two reasons, we have never been aggressive. But if we talk about these two places in Indore, we try to look at a property. Here is a hospital which is already running. They have 120 beds or so. But fortunately there is a place behind it. So what we are trying to acquire this place, first do up this hospital, probably to 100 beds, but build another 150 beds at the back. So it becomes truly tertiary care Apollo hospital.
How much are you looking to invest for this?
I think that will become 120 crores. The present owner will continue to hold 49%.
Okay, so in a sense, be like a partnership where you would sort of,
right, yeah.
You become a majority acquirer of this.
Majority acquired, and completely the quality controls, everything will be done by Apollo.
Right.
And we'll bring in tertiary and quaternary care into Indore.
Right.
And simultaneously we are looking at some other properties in that area, so that when this gets started, like for example, there is no place there for us to put oncology. So we'll acquire some additional land in and around Indore, and but I think we need to get that first foothold.
Okay.
And start in Madhya Pradesh.
And you earlier said that Tier 2 and Tier 3 is going to be a big focus for Apollo in the future. So what is going to happen? In terms of percentage, how much of your expansion will be towards Tier 2 and Tier 3, and what geographical locations?
I think you'll look at one metro which somehow we missed out, was in Mumbai. Now in Navi Mumbai we're building a 450 bed hospital which should be complete before end of this year. But more than that, in the existing metros where, in Bangalore we have 2 hospitals, we are adding a 3rd hospital, maybe we'll add 1 more. In Chennai we just added 1. We'll probably add 1 more hospital, and another 200 bed hospital. But most of the other hospitals that we are doing are in the Tier 2, Tier 3 cities, clearly because You know, for a patient coming for treatment, if he's to travel 200-300 kilometers, and when he comes into a metro, the trauma he has, plus, you know, even his expenses. You know, first it's hard for them to pay for the tertiary care expenses, you know, and then on top of it, these additional expenses. Now, if I go close to him, I have waived off that huge thing that he and his family has come into a metro.
Right. And also
I've gone close to him, and then my land price is cheaper, my administrative cost is cheaper, so the cost that I give him also will be probably 25% less than what he would pay if he comes to one of the major metros.
Any plans for investment in something like single specialty? A number of multi-specialty players are investing in single specialty space, either through acquisition or through acquiring a majority stake. Any such plans for Apollo in the future?
I think in principle we agreed that we will do a few single specialty hospitals. But if you really look at it, originally too, when Apollo, I lost a young man who couldn't afford to go to US for care because he couldn't raise $50,000. So I wanted to do in a heart hospital. But then I got, people put sense into me. Heart is part of the body. You know, it has other problems to have. So even if I do a separate heart hospital, I need to have the access for other specialists when they are needed. A pulmonologist, most often a pulmonologist, a nephrologist, you know, sometimes a neurologist. All of these supportive services also are required. So that then I think I can't do it in isolation, say 100 miles away from Chennai. I can't put a heart hospital or a oncology hospital. But I can do in Chennai. I can do it, say 20 kilometers, 50 kilometers from Chennai, when if there is a need, I could send in a specialist. But probably all this will change. You know why?
Why?
The technology is making that difference.
Right.
You can have a virtual doctor today. We are going to use technology for transforming healthcare, technology for reaching more number of people. Like for example, for the first time, India will have a paperless hospital, which we have just started in Chennai.
Okay.
The advantage in that is that it's going to have facility for people to have almost a 24/7 availability of even specialists and immediate. I just started EICUs. We just installed in Hyderabad. We are going to have Hyderabad connect itself to smaller hospitals where they'll have 1 or 2 beds, so that I have supported that doctor, that hospital. When an emergency comes in, a critical care patient can get full advice, virtual advice. So I think technology is going to make a huge difference.
But as you mentioned, single specialty is something which you do like as a segment.
I like it. I think our
So
board has
any-
cleared. Our board has cleared, saying, let's go ahead and do 5 heart hospitals, 5 oncology hospital. The first one probably will come in Ahmedabad city.
So cardiology and oncology.
First cardiology hospital will come there,
Right.
and next oncology hospital I think we are planning somewhere in the other part of Bangalore.
Okay. I want to understand the pharmacy business that Apollo has interest in. It's a very interesting sector, highly fragmented sector, but a player like Apollo coming into pharmacy, one wants to see what Apollo does. In an earlier report you had said that you are looking at a foreign partner, or you're looking to partner with a foreign player to sort of expand pharmacy business. What is the development?
First let me tell you for Apollo philosophy of pharmacy, because why we started pharmacies 28 years ago was to see that our patients get reliable medicines, because there are a lot of spurious drugs in the market. So this is why we started. In 30 years, not one spurious drug has passed through any of the Apollo pharmacies. We have to 1,500 plus clinics. Then as far as the investors are concerned, there are a number of investors even today into Apollo. They are willing to invest. But what we are looking, if we do if I take away pharmacies separately, which I can now, it's because of reasonable size, and they have their future growth plans. They're going to move up to 2,000 probably before the end of the year, and we have the technology to back it up. If I want to join, I don't want an investor, because I already have investors. They're willing to bring, if necessary, they're willing to bring money. If I move out, I think I should go to somebody who is already bigger than me in this, like some of the US companies or the one in UK. One of those, I think, we're talking.
Right.
If it happens, I think we'll look at.
So strategy is to partner with the player, not exactly
Yes,
with
right.
investors.
Yes.
I want to understand Khazana is an investor in Apollo. Khazana also owns Parkway. Now, an investor who understands the healthcare business really well, why shouldn't or why doesn't Apollo go ahead and build a chain of global hospitals with Khazana, with a strong investor like you have and a strong understanding of healthcare like Apollo does?
I hope our Minister for Health will not listen to this, because he will say if you are investing money, if you are building more hospitals, India needs more hospitals, why aren't you doing this?
Okay.
So we'll continue to do that. I'm not going to say dissatisfy our Ministry of Health, because we have good relationship. We worked with them even in this conference. There are going to be so many collaborative things that we'll do with the government. But yes, we are going to have a strategy for internationally. What we are looking at saying, what can we do in the Afro-Asian region, Middle East region, and South Asia thing.
So Africa is already a presence with Tanzania clinic, which is
it's going to open in the next 3 months.
right.
But I think what we don't have is hospital. See, to do hospital overseas, there are some few major things. In that country, there should be available for us the health supporting personnel, the doctors. I can send some specialists, but basically I should be able to have some doctors there, some of them whom I can train and put them back, nursing whom I can train and put them back. I can't send the whole team there. There should be supporting services. So what we are looking at is places where we can have this support, like in Tanzania. We have a long-term plan. By the time the hospital, once this clinic opens, we'll start the hospital building. They've already allotted a good place for the hospital. But then we'll look at how to train their people.
Tanzania would be a place where Apollo would build a hospital. In terms of overseas countries that you want to target to build more hospitals, what countries are you looking at?
I think ideally, we will build a hospital in Middle East. We should build 1 or 2 hospitals in Africa. Don't ask me when.
Okay.
But I think we will look at those efforts. But I think we have equal interest in Southeast Asia.
Okay.
But in all of these countries, there is a thing called the doctors, overseas doctors cannot work there. Like we have in India too. In India too, overseas doctors cannot work here.
In Africa, like Tanzania, would Indian doctors be able to practice over
Yes, they
there?
are giving us limited licenses for these people.
Okay. Want to understand with KKR investing in Apollo, it invested in the holding company of Apollo,
Yeah,
not
right.
Apollo. What was the strategy behind that?
It's simply like because it's only Apollo's 5% is what they're interested. They're not, if we are looking for a big partnership, probably they would have considered that. But they wanted to have association with Apollo. So this is how we took them into PCR.
So when we saw that Mr. Sanjay Nair became an independent director in the company, we were thinking, why didn't he become a nominee director? Because he could have also. So
He could have become a nominee doctor, but as I said, there was no need. He was coming, he is in PCR. We invited him because of his knowledge. We need people with knowledge, knowledge of business.
there were reports that the group is looking to raise about $400 million by selling about 51 to 75% in a business trust through listing in Singapore. Any developments on that?
I think that thing didn't work. So Singapore thing didn't work after whatever studies they've done. So we don't need that money. So we are not raising any money.
So no plan.
Because as far as the present, this year we'll be doing 10 hospitals. I don't know if anybody who has done organically 10 hospitals in a single year. So we've already done 6, 4 more will inaugurate in the next few months. Then the next plan for 15 to 18 at that time when we need. Of course, we are now comfortable because of whatever our debt equity ratio is very comfortable. There are enough funds because the promoters brought money last year. Then our cash reserves are good. So I think we don't need for the present 10 hospitals. It's funded completely.
So that's for 1
But
year.
when we go for next batch, I don't know how many we'll do, maybe 10, 15, 20. When we do that, then I think we must assess what's the need.
So that is next year.
Not even next year, it will be 15, year 15, 18. That means year 14, 15 I don't need, 15, 16 I won't need. The following year,
Okay.
when
16,
it comes
17.
to 17,
16, 17.
17.
Will be, so plan shifted to then. So no funding plan.
At the moment there is no plan for the present expansion.
The present
Unless something like if you say overseas are you doing something, if something like that happens, we'll look at it.
How much are you investing for this expansion?
I think total it costed us 1,500 crores for 2,200 beds.
Okay. Okay. So wishing you all the best for your expansion and for growing by leaps and bounds. And thank you so much for having us.
Thank you very much. Thank you. It's a pleasure talking to you. Thank you.